Hey everybody, it's Boardman21 and today's build is going to be the Meteor Fireball build. They redid Meteor Storm, they synergized it up with Fireball, and I tell you what, it's the most glass cannon nuker build that I've yet to play in this game, and it's absolutely amazing. All you do is keep everything at the edge of your screen and nuke them. You kill them extremely quickly. You can kill beetles in seconds. You can kill the fire golems within 10 seconds. It's absolutely crazy, as you'll see in the gameplay, and you get ward using one of the new affixes that gives you ward based on mana spent. So if you just spam Meteor Storm real quick, you'll just get a bunch of mana. You don't get a ton, not like the old patch, but you can get 1,000 to 2,000 ward basically at all times. And since you're kiting this thing so far away with that dodge, you're basically never getting hit. It probably the easiest character so far I've played when it comes to having 2 fire golems on the screen. You literally don't get hit a single time. You just keep them off the screen and you can kill them within seconds, just dropping as many meteors as you can. And by doing that, I'm going to show you exactly how we set it up and why it works so well. But you also basically just need to build into dodge and ward. Or not ward, dodge and mana. That's really all that you need for this build. Anyways, let's get into it. Alright, for skills, we're going to be running Teleport, Fireball, Focus, Flame Ward, and Meteor. For Teleport, we're just using this for the decoys and for the ward retention. So we have 4 points in Plasma Protection, 1 point in Unexpected Copy, 1 point in Decoy Position, 3 points in Elemental Affinity, 5 points in Ether Barrier, 5 points in Stable Bubble, and 1 point in Out of Mind. For Fireball, we're using for basically as many projectiles as possible while keeping the mana cost as low as possible. Now you'll see that our mana cost is 10, but our real actual mana cost is only 1, and we'll get into that when we get over to the Meteor skill. But if you can keep this at 9 or less, you're doing amazing. 10 isn't that bad, and you can still basically cast it non-stop. So we got it set up to pierce with 4 points in Piercing Heat, 3 points in Winged Fire, 1 point in Fire Spray, 1 point in Embers, 2 points in Dancing Fire, 2 points in Adept, 2 points in Mana Spear, 3 points in Flammability, 1 point in Seeker's Ash, and 1 point in Flame Burst. Now, Flame Burst doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot of damage, and we do have 4 projectiles, I believe, every time we fire that can all hit the same target, so you can proc it. But if you want the mana to come out ahead, you can take the 1 point out and put that 1 point back into the -1 mana cost, and you'll actually knock the cost down to 7, which means you actually get mana back while you use it. And the cost is 7, but you get mana back because of what Meteor Storm does, but we'll get into that. Now for Focus, you're just using that the same as normal for ward and mana. 4 points in Desperate Meditation, 4 points in Mana Flooded, 3 points in Energy Battery, with 1 point in Energy Infusion, 5 points in Everward, and 3 points in Mind's Shield. For Flame Ward, we just have this set up for a bit of ward, for some fire damage, and then for damage reduction. So we have 5 points in Stalwart Defense, 5 points in Barrier, 2 points in Recollection, 3 points in Energize, 3 points in Dilation, and 2 points in Infusion. And then Meteor. Yeah, this skill got reworked and it is now amazing. I love it. I haven't tried all the different possibilities. This was our first setup with it because we wanted to try it with Fireball, and it worked so well. So the way this works is you basically want as many meteors as possible, and you also have to spec into Fireball a little bit. So we have 1 point in Force of Impact and 3 points in Aftermath. So what Aftermath does is if I cast it, over the course of the next 3 seconds, I get 45% of the cost of that skill back, which is absolutely amazing. And between this and the Fireball costing so little, you basically can cast this and never run out of mana. Until you actually just sit there and spam it, you're basically going to keep your mana. We also have 2 points in Rapid Descent, 1 point in Twin Meteors, 2 points in Meteor Shower. We are now at 4 meteors with 1 point in Rapid Impacts, and then 3 more points in Rain of Fire, which gives us 7 meteors come down, and they hit for about 2k damage each. And with our 1 point in Extinction and then our 1 point in World Ender, since we have over 400 mana, and when you cast it, as long as you stay above 400 mana, you're guaranteed a crit with all 7 of those meteors, which is huge damage. You're looking at 14,000 damage on one cast in a pretty large area. And then on the other side, we have 2 points in Craterborn. This is a buff that it gives you, which gives you 60% increased fire damage, 20% more cast speed, and it lasts for 4 seconds. Now what's good about this is then you have 3 points in Cycle of Fire, which means while this buff is active, so if you cast Meteor, you're going to want to wait 3 seconds to get half of your mana back for the cost of it. So in that 3 seconds, you're going to have a buff called Craterborn, and that lets you start getting 9 mana back every time you cast Fireball. Since our Fireball has a cost of 10, that means I can cast Meteor every 3 seconds, and then during that 3 seconds I'm not casting it, just spam Fireball super fast, and Fireball will only cost 1 mana each in this build, in this setup, and it'll have 4 projectiles every time you fire it. And what you end up with is what this looks like. You can actually just get a massive amount of fireballs. Alright, for passives, we have 27 in the Mage base class. We have 8 points in Elementalist, 8 points in Arcanist, and 5 points in Mage Flurry. We also have 5 points in Rune of Winter and 1 point in Arcane Wind. These 6 points here, you don't have to put those in. This was because we were doing a freeze build with Glacier right before this. You can take those 6 points out and put them anywhere else you want, or keep them if you want. We have 0 points in the Spellblade, and then we have 87 points in Sorcerer. We have 8 points in Calculated Destruction, 8 points in Mana Shell, 8 points in Wisdom, 5 points in Arcane Momentum, 10 points in Lost Knowledge, 8 points in Pyromancer, 5 points in Lavamancer, 5 points in Afterglow, 1 point in Crackling Precision, 5 points in Arcane Obliteration, 10 points in Arcane Insight, 5 points in Spellslinger, 4 points in Recollection, and 5 points in Archmage. And then for items, we do have some newly crafted items, but most importantly, you do want the idols. We have these idols that have % increased mana, so you want to make sure you get some of those. A lot of these could roll much higher. Yeah, we're sitting at about 50% of max. We are still wearing our Bone Clamor, which gives us that word per second with our int and our dex. But then for items on our staff, you want mana, and then really that's the most important thing. Just make sure you have a T5 rolled mana on it. After that, you're not too worried about it. We put all attributes, fire damage, spell damage. For the chest piece, this is important. You need to get the affix % of mana spent gained as ward. Here we have 72%. I think the very max is 75. We made sure to gamble and get that first. The other thing we ended up getting was 63% increased spell crit, and it's doubled if you have over 300 max mana, which is actually quite a bit. So we actually have 126% more chance to spell crit. Granted, that as long as you're over 400 mana, Meteor's guaranteed to crit, but what this does help is Fireball will crit more often with it. And then we have our Glancing Blow, and we're just a dodge set, so we got some critical strike avoidance. We've put some mana on the gloves. I think we have mana on the relic as well. We do have the new pair of boots. I think I've hovered on everything. The amulet, we want some mana and some fire damage. You can get more mana than we have here. You could probably get 600 to 700 mana if you completely min-maxed on it. And that's everything. I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys some more gameplay.